It was a sunny day that would soon turn dark. The day history was rewritten. When the bullet was fired, it didn't just strike a man. It shattered a nation. The target was more than a leader. He was a symbol of change. November 22nd, 1963. Dallas, Texas. The moment the world stopped breathing, the car glided through the crowd, smiles everywhere, until silence turned to screams. 3 shots echoed and chaos consumed the city. Reporters scrambled, police radios blared. The president had been hit. Minutes later, he was pronounced dead, and America was never the same. The world mourned a man whose dream was unfinished. But behind the tears, questions began to rise. Who really pulled the trigger that day? The official story said Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone. But Oswald claimed he was a patsy, a scapegoat for something bigger. Just 2 days later, even he was silenced, live on television. Why kill the killer unless there was something to hide? Behind the cameras, powerful forces moved in silence. The CIA, the mafia, foreign powers, all whispered names in the same breath. Every lead was buried under confusion and cover-ups. The Warren Commission called it a lone gunman. But decades later, even insiders began to doubt the truth. Evidence disappeared. Witnesses changed stories. Files went missing. And then came the mysterious magic bullet. How could one bullet cause 7 wounds across 2 people? The explanation felt too clean, too scripted. Some say the real shooters were positioned across multiple angles. Others believe the Secret Service knew more than they admitted. And deep in the Pentagon, files labeled JFK were sealed for decades. When they were finally released, pages were missing. Every revelation led to more confusion. And yet one truth remains. Power fears exposure. This wasn't just the death of a president. It was the birth of mistrust. The 1960s became a decade of secrets and suspicion. From that day on, America learned that truth has a price. Even now, new evidence surfaces every few years. But the deeper we dig, the murkier it gets. Some call it a coup, others a message. Who gained the most from his death? And who ensured that the story stayed buried? The autopsy itself was surrounded by chaos and censorship. Photographs vanished, X-rays destroyed. The body became a mystery. Even the brain, critical for analysis, went missing from evidence. Who had access to remove such evidence? Some say intelligence agencies feared exposure of covert operations. Operation Northwoods, Bay of Pigs. The threads all connect. Was Kennedy planning to dismantle those dark networks? If so, that made him dangerous to the machine. In history, those who challenge power rarely die by chance. The Zapruder film became the smoking gun for generations. Frame by frame, people tried to decode the impossible. Every frame hides a question no one wants to answer. Was there a second shooter on the grassy knoll? Witnesses claimed to hear shots from 2 directions. But official reports silenced those voices. The pattern was clear. Truth had to be controlled. From that moment, the concept of deep state took root, the idea that not all power is visible. And for many, it all started with that motorcade. Every American alive that day remembers where they were. The collective trauma reshaped the nation's psyche. It marked the end of innocence and the rise of suspicion. Years later, Secret Service reforms changed forever, but the trust lost that day was never rebuilt. New presidents learned to guard more than their lives, their secrets, and still, questions echo through every generation. Was it political? Was it personal? Or something far greater? Decades later, even AI and forensic models can't solve it completely because truth itself was erased long ago. In history's deepest vaults, the truth sleeps, guarded by silence, and the deeper we go, the more dangerous it becomes. For those who know too much, history has a way of erasing names. Yet, the spirit of that day still haunts America. Every anniversary, people gather, not for closure, but for questions. Because the assassination didn't end in 1963. It began something larger. It created a template for secrecy in modern governance. And the people learned. Power can kill, and truth can die. But legends never fade. They become warnings. The assassination changed not just America, but the world. Cold War tensions spiked, and fear became policy. The event marked a turning point in the modern United States. A nation that once believed in heroes now questions everything. History remembers the assassin but forgets the reason. Because sometimes, the truth is not lost. It's hidden in plain sight.